Welcome back to Yokayi Footy. Now, Shelley, you are lacing up the boots for a good cause. You're doing Coastrek. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
I am doing Coastrek, and it's this epic hiking expedition that I have to go on, and it's in the Mornington Peninsula. I'm only doing 30 Ks, but you can do 60 Ks.
That's heaps.
It's heaps.
Only.
Not sure these old hips are going to be able to do it, but we'll just see what happens. But it is to support the Heart Foundation and to make sure that we raise awareness for women's health issues, and also within our Aboriginal communities. We've got this terrible preventable disease that's happening, rheumatic heart disease, that are affecting our children as young as 6, that are having open heart surgery because it's irreversible, but it's actually totally preventable. We've got this disease that is caused by overcrowding in homes and actually not taking antibiotics through strep A infection when, that's because of poor education around health. So we've got some really big issues that we need to fix within Aboriginal communities. So if you haven't registered, we would love you to support a team. I mean, there's my team, of course.
So you can register and come and do it with you?
Well, they've actually closed, but we would love people to get behind and support. Oh, you look so disappointed.
Yeah, I was like, I'll come with you.
You can be part of my support crew. Yeah. I've got some friends that are doing that, which I'm really grateful for. But, get behind a team, find a friend who is actually doing it, or just head to the website and make a donation. The Heart Foundation needs this money so that we can make real changes within Aboriginal communities.
You're a very, very busy woman, Shelley, but this event taking place on Sorry Day.
Yeah, it's a really significant day for our people and hopefully all Australians, where we actually look at the stolen generations and, the strength that they have within themselves and how they're healing and the healing process involved in that. So I had to think really hard about whether or not I would take part of Coastrek, but I really looked at it and I decided that it was the impact that we need to have all Australians understand that colonisation still affects Aboriginal people's heart health today. So I felt like that was an important discussion, so that's why I decided to walk.
And that extra step, that intergenerational trauma.
That intergenerational trauma that comes from it too. I suffer from that, from intergenerational trauma around heart disease. So it's a big deal.
And I guess that's obviously, why it's so important to you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really important to me because my father actually died at the age of 51, which 25 years ago was the expected age of an Aboriginal man, and he died of a heart attack. And that was because of an undiagnosed disease that he got from living on the missions where, fruit and vegetables weren't handed out very regularly, but, cigarettes were as part of the daily rations. So, I lost my dad and I recently turned 50 and straight away I was at the heart doctor wanting them to look at the inside of my heart, check out what was going on because that fear. And I was having heart palpitations for a good, I think it was about 18 months, thinking I was actually dying. But I went to the doctor, I did the right thing, and I was able to control my nervous system and get everything back on track.
And I think, that's so key, what you've just touched on there. And firstly, I'm so sorry to hear that you lost your father in preventable conditions like that. But yeah, it is such a horrible. It's just such a horrible thing to have to experience, isn't it? But talking about the importance of healthcare, and we talk a lot about mental health on this show, and how important it is for our mob.
It is so important, look after your hearts, get walking, make sure you're exercising, and, if your heart is nice and healthy and it's strong, help people who still need help, donate to Coastrek. It's really important. It's one of the things you can do, So, I'd like to say I'm looking forward to Coastrek. I don't know if my feet are, but my heart certainly is.
Absolutely.
But you will be. And our past grandfathers, they got given flour, sugar and tea.
Yeah.
And tobacco.
Tobacco.
So then the two worst ones there, tobacco and sugar, and we were eating sugar just like that. So, our life expectancy too, I know I work with a company called Blackheart and we do a lot of cultural awareness training and capability training, and life expectancy for a young Aboriginal man in Wilcannia, New South Wales, 39 years old.
That's just not good enough, is it? That's actually quite shocking. We've got it up on average to about 68 at the moment, which still isn't great, when the rest of the population is sitting at about 85.
87,
So, to hear that 39, that actually is quite heartbreaking. And
that's nearly my age.
Absolutely, but we've got our children that are, with youth suicide, we've got the highest rate in the world. So we've got some real issues within Aboriginal health that really need need to be discussed and things need to happen.
And I think just with the wider community too, we don't realise that Australia as a population, Indigenous and non-Indigenous, we consume the most alcohol per person in the world. I think there's only one place in Germany that beats us, you know.
Wow.
So we, tobacco is another thing. We're the third highest smoking, nation in the world, you know. So there's a lot of things there. As a nation, we've got to get a hold of it and get it, like you're saying, get our health in check.
Get in there, get in check, make sure that you're looking after yourself. And vaping, that's going to kill our young ones. We don't understand what's happening with that yet, but it's going to play a huge part on our hearts and our lungs. So, have these conversations with your children too. It's really important.
Well, thank you for raising that on this show. I think it is really important. Obviously, we're a footy show, but, we really do need to hit home these important topics. But